Hi, my name is Petra Söderling. I'm pitching for government innovation funding. So I'm holding on my hand phones and I got a Fitbit here. And when we look at these companies and these industries, they are creating businesses, creating jobs, and that's wonderful. But this industry didn't just come from nowhere. The industry was actually purposely built by governments. If we go back to the fact that these devices need radio access networks, they need telecommunications networks in order to function. So how did those telecommunication networks come about? The 3G network standard was the first international standard that really allowed digital content to carry over from device to device over network from network. It was mobile operators like BT, British Telecom, DT, Deutsche Telekom, Swedish Telia, Finnish Sonera, NTT, the Nippon Telegraph and Telephone Company, Singtel. All of these mobile operators invested partly government money in order to build 3G networks so that the devices can function and this industry can be built. These devices also use the internet. It was an ARPANET, a Department of Defense project that created the internet. It created a whole new industry and it was all done with government money. Fast forward today, think about electric vehicles. Why is Tesla has been the #1 car that's sold in Norway for many, many years? Not because Norwegians love Tesla, I'm sure they do, but because the Norwegian government has decided to subsidize the price of the EV vehicles so that they are on par with the combustion engine vehicles. So Norwegians keep buying electric vehicles. They also need, in order for this industry to actually work, you need the charging stations. There's no one single private company that could invest in building a charging station network so that we would get a fully functioning fleet of EVs in all of these countries. Again, you need the government to invest in that infrastructure so that the industry can actually start creating revenue and creating business and jobs. Same with any other large infrastructure technologies. Take nuclear, take large pharmaceutical investments. We're seeing the COVID vaccines now being funded by governments with taxpayer money. Think about the space industry. There is a thing called the space industry now. It is because NASA, European Space Agency, Russia, China, taxpayers in all of these countries invested in that technology so that we could create these industries, so that these private companies can raise VC money, start to innovate, and start creating products and companies and jobs. So if you think about the VC investment, typically when they invest in a new startup, they expect 3 times, maybe even a 10-fold revenue from each investment. Now we know for a fact that in their portfolio, 9 out of 10 fail. So the average return on a VC investment is somewhere around 15 to 30%, which is of course a lot better than the stock market where return is 10%. Now, how do I know these numbers? I know them because they're in Wikipedia, it's common knowledge. But what about the return for taxpayers for their investment? In my presentation, I'm gonna talk about the way we classify, quantify, and communicate the return on investment for taxpayers, the investors.